Courtland Simmons with you here at the CS Racing Report. Let's recap the TVG.com Haskell Stakes. 9 furlongs, $1 million on the line. Point distribution for the top 4 finishers, 140, 20, and 10, as alluded to in the preview pod. This race was won by Authentic, trained by Bob Baffert, his 9th win in 15 career starts at the Jersey Shore. 9 wins, 5 seconds, 1/3. Authentic set the pace with fractions of 23.60 for the quarter, 47.52 for the half, 111.50 for the 3 quarters as he was being tracked by New York traffic. As I put in the description, he stalked. And then on the turn, he got left by Authentic, who was clear. And then suddenly he hung a little bit in the stretch. And on the face, when you look at it to the naked eye, it looks like Authentic confirmed those who thought that he has distance limitations and he got tired in the stretch. Now, when we look at the post-race comments, it contrasts in that. But he hung in the stretch as New York traffic, who was left at the turn, whether he was discouraged a little bit by being left behind or he couldn't get that traction he needed on the Monmouth surface, re-rallied, started to make it very interesting, gaining on every stride. Left at the turn, he re-rallied and just missed. That was my description of New York traffic. Authentic rebroke at the very end and held on to win by a desperate nose in 150.45 for the 1.125 mile. New York traffic, 4.5 lengths in front of Dr. Post, who was 3.25 lengths in front of Jesus' team, as you see the rest of the order of finish. In looking at this race on the face, it would appear that Authentic got tired in the stretch, and this was not very impressive visually, even though he looked good in the stretch, like he was going to win with authority and impress everyone to believe that he's a major contender. When looking at these top 3 horses, if Authentic's performance wasn't strange enough for some people or confirmed those distance limitations people think the Bob Baffert trainee has, it was Dr. Post, who was second in the Belmont Stakes in a very, very red-hot running of the first leg of this reconfigured Triple Crown to 'Tis the Law, and he was expected to be, he was in the minds of many, a win bet in this race, and he certainly was expected to run better than what he did. He was on the inside, he was 4 wide, and then was 3 wide around there, went 4 wide, went out a path when rallying around or circling around Jesus' team, and he was hard-ridden on the turn at that point, about 3.5, 4 furlongs out, continued to be hard-ridden, was outrun by the top 2 in the head and in the middle of the stretch, and then he tried to come on, but overall my description was he was flat in comparison to the Belmont Stakes. And so in conclusion, he is going to have to be, in the end, a beneficiary of added ground, and that these other horses are going to hit a wall when hitting the final quarter mile of a 10 furlong race like the Kentucky Derby, that he's going to improve after expecting to improve off the Belmont Stakes. And I think he kind of got cooked a little bit in what was a race in which 'Tis the Law posted a very freakish 146 and change for the 1.125 mile, which just off of a time, from a time standpoint, he's way ahead of these horses unless Authentic can get these problems that Mike Smith and Bob Baffert joked about after the race ironed out, and that includes maybe even putting a half blinker on him in the 6.5 to 7 weeks leading up to the Derby, in which Authentic will train up to the Run for the Roses or to the Derby, as will New York traffic. But Dr. Post's going to have to step up. He does have the kind of style that if things fall apart on the front end, he can be a contender, but he's going to have to punch harder. He's going to have to accelerate a little bit more quickly and rapidly, and be able to make that, monster move in the stretch at Churchill Downs in a race in which it seems as though 'Tis the Law and Honor AP are the fastest horses, although some would argue people are curious about the preparation for Honor AP, the Santa Anita Derby winner, over Authentic in running in the Sheriff Belief Stakes at Del Mar, but that's what John Sheriff wants to do. In the meantime, Dr. Post, whether he runs in the Travers or not, seems to be a little bit above being on the fence as far as Derby points. New York traffic has 110, so he's pretty much in his preparation, in training up to it. Authentic is second behind 'Tis the Law with 200 points in comparison to the leader, and winner of the Belmont Stakes with 272. But I got to tell you, I think everybody is basically looking at a bunch of $64 questions on Authentic. Is he for real? Can he go that far? A lot of people who don't think that he can are going to even inflate that number on him as being a cut below 'Tis the Law, and for that matter, the horse he finished second to, Honor AP, whom he beat in the San Felipe prior to that. And I think the same is going to hold true for Dr. Post. I think there's still going to be those who might have the same evaluation or assessment of him that I do, that, the added ground might help him, but he's going to have to improve off of this because, as I said, he got beaten 4.5 lengths, and almost 5 lengths by the first 2 horses and was really a non-threat. So I think that at the end of the day, that's what people are going to conclude. The numbers are going to go up on these 3 horses, particularly since we're not going to see them unless Dr. Post goes in the Midsummer Derby before the Kentucky Derby. But nevertheless, Bob Baffert's Authentic wins the 2020 TVG.com Haskell Stakes by a desperate nose over New York Traffic, who was 4.5 lengths in front of Dr. Post in 150 and 4/5 for the mile and 1/8. Authentic, your winner of the TVG Haskell Stakes.